Hi everyone, my name is Okuchuku Kingad Wankwo. I'm representing Group 6 for the Open and Decentralized Blockchain Systems Group project. Big shout out to my teammates Anthony, Prajakta, Bobby, and Sheriff. I will be representing them by doing a live demonstration of the crowdfunding tool which we've built for our submission. And I'd like for you to join me as I walk through the process from start to finish. For a brief summary, it's a crowdfunding tool that sits on the blockchain, specifically the Arbitrum network, that facilitates crowdfunding for any project you may have, regardless of wherever you are, as long as you have access to an Ethereum wallet. Um, we've built it for simplicity and to ensure user experience, and I'd like for you to join me as we walk through from start to finish. So I've prepared the presentation for Fundflow. This presentation basically guides us through the thought process behind building Fundflow, all of the underlying smart contracts that work under the hood to facilitate the crowdfunding process on chain, and basically all of the features that we've added to the app, or the DApp in this case, right? So yeah, it's a milestone-based released crowdfunding process, automatic refunds, the social proof via NFT badges. You receive badges for every contribution you make, and those badges are ERC20, ERC721 standard NFTs, which are shareable and verifiable at all times. And yeah, these badges have different tiers depending on your contribution level. Yeah, we've deployed a couple of smart contracts. The crowdfund factory contract, the base contract, which creates crowdfunding campaign contracts. Crowdfunding contracts in itself is an agreement between a contributor and a campaigner. It enables you contribute to someone's campaign and, support their movement. And all of that is done via a milestone-based release process where you send ETH when the campaigner reaches his milestone, then the funds get released. And all of that is configurable via the DApp to facilitate different levels of flexibility for funds management. And yeah, it's also important to mention that if the contributors don't meet the target, or better put, if the campaign target isn't met, the contributors they can always claim their refund. It's all handled by the smart contract. This is to facilitate fairness where a campaign is not met, all of the funds are redistributed back to the contributors. And yeah, these are basically the steps we took: smart contract design, gas optimization, deployment on the Arbitrum Sepolia network. I built the front end with Streamlit, but I don't intend to use Vue for the front end or JavaScript. Streamlit was just easier for me at the time. I just added a Web3 injection component to it, and I was able to test the smart contracts and build a DApp on top of the smart contracts using Streamlit. But yeah, Vue and React are better tools for building front end. So that is the next step for this project. And yeah, this is the layout, the structure of the files basically. And now if we go to the DApp, we run it first. I'm running this locally, and it's running on the port 8501 on my local machine, and I've viewed that on my browser, and it takes us to the DApp, right? So it runs up, it initializes all of the contracts which we've deployed on Arbitrum. So yeah, once the app loads up, you connect your wallet address as you would in every DApp. Once it's connected, you can verify that it's connected. It also shows you your balance there on the UI, and you can straight up create a campaign, right? So for the purpose of this demo, we will create a campaign that is basically for contributing towards someone's tuition. It's the education category. Set a duration of 2 days. And then we set the goal, the target, in this case, zero point 0.1 ETH, just to test it out. And I don't have a campaign image for this tutorial, so I just put a blank text there because it's not compulsory. Then I put in basically a description of my campaign, telling the users what this campaign is all about, the value it provides, so that they are aware of the campaign that they are contributing towards. And you're able to provide that via the campaign description box. And yeah, you can set the different milestones depending on the nature of your project. You can get 90% upfront and 2 installments of 5% payments consequently, or subsequently rather. And yeah, you then create your campaign. It basically creates a crowdfund contract under the hood. And the contract is verifiable via the transaction hash. You can search that on the Arbitrum, Sepolia, testnet explorer, all verifiable. And we'll see that in a second. So yeah, the deployment of a new campaign was successful. Every campaign is basically a new contract, right? So we can confirm that. We view that on the Sepolia Arbitrum testnet explorer, if I can spell that correctly. And yeah, we can verify where the address was from, which is the wallet address. We can verify that quickly, right? And we can also see the new contract which is created. Like I said, the campaign is basically a new contract. It's an agreement. So verify the address. Yes, the address corresponds with the from address. So we are sure that we created that contract, right? And then we refresh the dApp so that the dApp is able to load the newly created campaign, right? So that will take a second, right? So yeah, we've been able to contribute to the campaign using the other wallet address. And if we go to the dApp, we just need to refresh and reload everything to make sure that we capture the newly created event, which is a contribution to the campaign that we created. So having created the new contract, the next step will be to contribute to that campaign, right? So in order for us to do that, we need a second wallet. We cannot use the same wallet as the one we used to create the campaign, right? We cannot contribute to ourselves, right? So we choose a different wallet and we wallet address, connect, and then we can contribute to that campaign. So on the other wallet, I have some test Ethereum tokens, and I'm willing to contribute 0.1 ETH just to reach the full target for the purpose of this demonstration, right? And we see that there's a silver NFT badge for anyone who contributes 0.1 ETH and above, right? So we'll do that, and we adjust the gas fees just to allow for more bandwidth, and we confirm. All right, in a few seconds, it would be confirmed, and we can validate that on the Arbitscan Sepolia Explorer. Nice, we can confirm that that transaction came from the wallet 2, which we created as the contributor. And yeah, can verify that and verify the wallet address, confirmed. Nice. Then we can now go back to the DApp and go back and check to see that our contribution has reflected. We connect with the campaign wallet address. And then we go back to look at the campaign just to be sure that our contribution has reflected. It might take a while for the transaction to get confirmed because it requires the transfer of some Ethereum. But if we wait for a while, it will reflect once we refresh it. So once it refreshes, we will see the balance within the contract. So I've refreshed. Let's give it a moment. Nice. And then we can confirm that the 0.1 ETH has been sent to the campaign's contract. And the campaign contract is no longer accepting contributions because the full target has been met, right? So the next step will be to complete the milestone since we're connected with the campaign creator's wallet address. We go ahead, proceed and sign the transaction. So that's complete now. We can see the transaction hash showing us that that transaction has been completed. And yeah, the first step is done. Now we've completed the milestone. Now we want to withdraw the funds that have been, the funds that make up that milestone, which in this case is 90% of the total contribution. So we expect to be able to withdraw 0.09 ETH to our wallet address. Balance, it's 0.19 ETH at the moment. But when we withdraw, it should increase by 0.09. So we see that the funds withdrawn from the campaign has reflected in the campaigner's balance, right? So yeah. One thing to mention is that each contributor gets gifted an NFT. So if you go to the NFT tab of the wallet, here you can see a couple of NFTs for test contributions which I've made, right? And the last one, which is the contribution for the university tuition, which we just made right now. So this wallet has a contributor badge, which is an NFT. So yeah. This is the last part of the video, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any regarding the project. Thank you.